Hey everybody, what's going on? Kio-chan here, and I'm back to do another review on Something New Otaku. And today's review is on the manga Kamisama Kiss by Julieta Suzuki. This is an absolute awesome series so far. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really glad that I picked it up. As I do with all of my manga first impressions and reviews, I'm going to tell you how I came across this particular title. So one day I was chilling out at the mall with my friends, and we were hanging out near Barnes & Noble when I suddenly came across this cover. And instantly I was attracted to it. The ears. Come on, you have to be attracted to these ears. They're so cute. As you guys know, I like cats, and that's what I thought it was about. But when I read it, I found out that it was about a fox demon. But regardless, I was attracted to the cover art. So I went over, picked it up, read the blurb in the back of the book, and I said, this sounds totally interesting, I'm going to check it out. And I'm really glad that I did, because it is pretty interesting. So let's get into those main characters. Our first main character's name is Nanami, and she's a high school student who lives with her father who has a gambling problem. You can already see the issues starting, can't you? Well anyway, one day her father runs off and leaves Nanami all by herself. And to make matters worse, she ends up getting kicked out of her apartment. So now she's a high school student, she doesn't have a home, and she really doesn't have anything to call her own. But that is soon fixed by our next character, whose name is Mikage. And he is an older man who ran away from home 20 years ago. And he suddenly came back to town and was sitting in the park where Nanami was staying currently. And they have a little conversation. She tells him that she doesn't have a home anymore, and he tells her that he doesn't even want to go back to his home. And she assumes that he has an angry wife at home, but she finds out that that's not really the case. He feels so bad for Nanami that he decides to give her his house. So he gives her directions, kisses her on the forehead, and then goes on his merry way. The kiss actually means something more than what you're thinking, but we'll get into that in a minute. So she goes over to his house and finds out that it's on a shrine. And she's kind of nervous about it, she really doesn't know what to think. It's kind of falling apart, but she goes in anyway. And when she goes in, she meets our third character, whose name is Tomoe. And Tomoe is the fox demon, and he is really pissed. And at first, he mistakes Nanami as Mikage because they have the same kind of feeling about them, and that's where that kiss came in. When he kissed her, he transferred his power to her. And I'll explain that when I get into the plot. So this fox demon is really pissed. And at first, he doesn't want anything to do with her. He really thinks that Nanami is a weakling and is useless and shouldn't be there. And pretty much says either she goes or I go. So for a while, Tomoe goes on his own and does whatever he wants. Later, the two of them end up getting into a partnership. That's what I'll call it, because there's a lot of technical stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. Then we also have these little helpers. I forgot their names. They're not really too important, but they are the ones that kind of help Nanami around the place, you know. Whenever she needs something, they'll go get it. So they're just little helpers, and they're kind of little sprites that help Nanami out. So, what is this series about? I've talked about a lot of supernatural stuff. Well, basically, Nanami has become a local deity and has to grant prayers about love. And the more prayers that she grants, the stronger she becomes. But there's a lot of other stuff that goes on that she has to take care of. She has to take care of the temple, and she has to meet with other deities that, you know, come by. There's one that comes by near the end of the series, end of the volume rather. And a lot of crazy stuff is going to happen to her, and she doesn't really understand this world all that much, but she's giving it her best shot. And Tomoe is her assistant. I'm really going to call him that. There's a technical word for it, but I can't think of it at the moment. And he helps her out, protects her, and all that stuff. Kind of like, you know, what Inuyasha did for Kikyo, kind of. So, it's a really interesting series, and I really can't wait to find out what happens next, because it really is kind of interesting right now. So that is my review / first impressions of this series. Go check it out. It is awesome, and that is all I have to say, and I hope you guys are going to have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!